20. Once legendary actors. Hollywood threw away what destroyed their careers. Hollywood loves to celebrate its stars until the moment it doesn't. Some of the biggest black legends in entertainment went from red carpets and multi-million-dollar deals to being pushed out, silenced, or erased almost overnight. Scandals, politics, studio pressure, or even just speaking the truth. Each downfall tells a story Hollywood doesn't want you to remember. Today, we expose the 20 once legendary actors Hollywood threw away and the real reasons behind their careers collapsing. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to Legends of Black Excellence so you never miss the stories they tried to bury. Let's get into it. Will Smith. Will Smith was once one of Hollywood's most beloved and unstoppable stars, admired for his charisma, versatility, and long-standing box office power. He rose to global fame through The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and solidified his superstar status with major blockbuster hits like Men in Black, which earned over $589 million worldwide. His career reached a new peak with King Richard, where his powerful performance as Richard Williams earned him the 2022 Academy Award for Best Actor, proving his ability to shine in both comedy and drama while maintaining decades of mainstream success. However, everything changed in an instant during the 2022 Oscars. In a moment that shocked viewers around the world, Will Smith walked onto the stage and slapped Chris Rock in response to a joke about his wife. The incident unfolded live in front of millions, and within minutes, the clip dominated global media. What should have been the night of his greatest professional achievement became overshadowed by one of the most talked about controversies in Oscar history. The consequences were swift and severe. Shortly after the event, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences banned Will Smith from attending the Oscars for 10 years, a rare and unprecedented punishment for a star of his stature. At the same time, several major projects he was attached to, including Fast and Loose Bad Boys 4 and other high-budget productions, were paused, quietly shelved, or completely canceled. His once spotless public image took significant damage, and the industry's confidence in him became uncertain. Will Smith had spent over 3 decades building a reputation as one of Hollywood's most bankable and widely admired actors. Yet one impulsive moment drastically altered the trajectory of his career. Whether he can rebuild the legacy he once held remains an open question, and the world is still watching. Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was once known as America's dad, a legendary figure in television history whose influence shaped an entire generation of comedy and family entertainment. His groundbreaking series, The Cosby Show, dominated American TV throughout the 1980s, averaging more than 30 million weekly viewers at its peak, and helping redefine how black families were represented on television. For decades, Cosby stood as one of Hollywood's most respected entertainers, with a career spanning stand-up comedy, acting, producing, and philanthropy. But in the mid-2010s, Cosby's legacy took a dramatic turn as numerous women publicly accused him of sexual misconduct, with incidents alleged to have occurred over several decades. The controversy intensified in 2014 when the accusations resurfaced in national media, leading major networks, streaming platforms, and institutions to distance themselves from him. In 2018, Cosby was convicted on 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault, marking one of the highest profile cases during the broader public reckoning with abuse in the entertainment industry. However, in 2021, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court overturned his conviction, citing violations of his due process rights. Despite his release, the accusations and legal battles permanently altered how the industry and the public viewed him. The consequences were sweeping. Networks stopped airing. The Cosby Show honorary degrees were rescinded, and awards organizations removed his name from their lists. Though not officially blacklisted by a single authority, Cosby became effectively removed from Hollywood, with no major studio or platform willing to collaborate with him, since the allegations became global headlines. His career, once defined by groundbreaking success and cultural impact, became overshadowed by one of the most public controversies in entertainment history: Bill Cosby's rise and fall remain among the most dramatic shifts in modern Hollywood. From one of the most trusted and beloved figures on television to a symbol of controversy and legal turmoil. His story is a reminder of how quickly reputations can collapse and how profoundly truth, accountability, and public judgment can reshape a legacy once considered untouchable. Martin Lawrence. Martin Lawrence was one of the defining comedic voices of the 1990s, rising to fame through his hit sitcom, Martin, which became one of the highest-rated shows on Fox and a cultural staple for Black audiences. His energy, improvisational talent, and memorable characters quickly made him a household name. Lawrence then transitioned into major film success, most notably through the Bad Boys franchise alongside Will Smith. The first movie alone earned over $141 million worldwide, turning Lawrence into a bankable action comedy star and securing his place among Hollywood's top comedic actors. However, as his fame soared, Lawrence's career began facing turbulence. Throughout the late 1990s and early 2000s, he experienced several highly publicized health incidents, including exhaustion, erratic public behavior, and hospitalization after collapsing from heat exhaustion during a jog in 1999. While some of these episodes were linked to stress and overwork, they raised concerns within the industry about his stability at a time when studios were increasingly cautious about risk. In addition, reports of behind-the-scenes tensions during the later seasons of Martin, including a well-known conflict involving co-star Tisha Campbell, further complicated his public image and professional relationships. As a result, Hollywood's enthusiasm began to cool. While Lawrence continued to act and headline comedy films, such as Big Mama's House and Blue Streak, the frequency and scale of his projects gradually declined. Major studios became more hesitant, opting for newer comedic faces and safer productions. Even though he was not formally banned or publicly blacklisted, the shift was evident: fewer leading roles, fewer tentpole films, and a career that slowly moved away from its once unstoppable momentum. Despite the downturn, Martin Lawrence remains a respected figure in comedy. His influence on modern Black humor, sitcom culture, and action comedy partnerships is undeniable. His return in Bad Boys for Life 2020 proved that audiences still appreciate his charm and comedic timing, and he continues to attract loyal fans through stand-up tours and new projects. Martin Lawrence's journey shows how the pressures of fame, personal struggles, and industry politics can alter even the brightest careers. Yet his legacy as a comedic icon remains firmly intact. Chris Tucker. Chris Tucker became one of Hollywood's most recognizable comedic stars in the late 1990s and early 2000s, thanks to his sharp wit, high-energy delivery, and unforgettable screen presence. He first gained traction with roles in Friday and The Fifth Element, but it was the Rush Hour franchise co-starring Jackie Chan that catapulted him into global superstardom. Rush Hour 2 alone earned over $347 million worldwide, making Tucker one of the highest-paid actors of his time. At his peak, he famously secured a $25 million paycheck for Rush Hour 3, solidifying his status as a financial powerhouse and a mainstream favorite. Yet despite his enormous success, Tucker's Hollywood momentum slowed dramatically. Unlike many actors who fade because of scandals or conflicts, Tucker's career shift was largely self-driven. He became increasingly selective with roles after achieving financial success, turning down multiple high-profile opportunities. During this period, he dedicated much of his time to personal pursuits, including religious commitments, philanthropic efforts, and stand-up comedy rather than major studio films. Around the same time, Tucker faced well-documented financial and tax issues, which drew media attention and added pressure to his already infrequent career choices. As years passed, studios grew hesitant to invest in a star who rarely accepted roles and whose box office draw was difficult to predict. Hollywood began moving forward with new comedic talents, and big-budget films slowly stopped coming his way. Chris Tucker wasn't officially blacklisted. There was no industry ban, no controversy-driven fallout, but the combination of long absences, selective decision-making, and financial complications pushed him to the fringes of mainstream Hollywood. The result was a career that transitioned from blockbuster leading man to a quieter presence focused on stand-up tours and limited film appearances. Despite the slowdown, Tucker remains a beloved figure in entertainment. His return in Rush Hour 3, acclaimed performance in Silver Linings Playbook 2012, and ongoing collaboration rumors for Rush Hour 4 prove that audiences still connect with his unique comedic style. Chris Tucker's story is less about scandal and more about how career choices, personal priorities, and industry timing can shift a superstar's trajectory, even one who once dominated the global box office. Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes was once one of Hollywood's most dynamic and influential action stars, known for his versatility, martial arts skills, and commanding screen presence. Rising to prominence in the late 1980s and early 1990s with films like New Jack City White Men Can't Jump and Passenger 57, Snipes became a leading man who brought charisma and intensity to every role. His most iconic achievement came with the Blade franchise, which earned over $400 million worldwide and is widely credited with helping launch the modern wave of superhero films. For a time, Snipes stood at the center of the action genre, carrying entire franchises and shaping black representation in blockbuster cinema. But behind the success, Snipes' career took a sharp turn due to a series of legal and financial issues that became widely publicized. In the mid-2000s, he faced serious tax-related charges, and in 2008, he was convicted on 3 misdemeanor counts of failing to file federal income tax returns. As a result, he served nearly 3 years in federal prison beginning in 2010. This period effectively halted his on-screen career, interrupting major opportunities and dramatically weakening his standing in the industry. Studios grew hesitant to insure and cast him, especially for large-scale productions that required stability and long-term commitments. Outside of legal troubles, Snipes also faced reports of behind-the-scenes conflicts, most notably during the production of Blade Trinity, where disagreements with the creative team became widely reported in entertainment media. While Snipes has disputed some of these accounts, the perception of difficulty combined with his legal issues made his return to top-tier Hollywood roles far more challenging. As newer action stars filled the spotlight, Snipes struggled to regain the momentum he once commanded effortlessly. Even so, Wesley Snipes remains a respected figure for fans who admire his groundbreaking contributions and unique style. His appearances in The Expendables 3 Coming 2, America, and several independent films demonstrate his continued dedication to the craft. Although Hollywood's door never fully closed, it no longer opened as widely as it once had. Snipes' journey stands as a powerful reminder of how legal battles, public perception, and industry politics can reshape the trajectory of even the most iconic careers. Cuba Gooding Jr. Cuba Gooding Jr. rose to fame as one of Hollywood's most promising talents, quickly earning respect for his emotional depth and infectious charisma on screen. His breakout performance in Boys in the Hood 1991 made him a rising star, but it was his unforgettable role in Jerry Maguire that cemented his place in film history. His energetic delivery of the now iconic line, "Show me the money," earned him the 1997 Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, making him one of the few black actors at the time to win an Oscar. Throughout the late 1990s and early 2000s, he headlined popular films such as Radio Men of Honor and Pearl Harbor, proving he could handle both dramatic and comedic roles with equal skill. However, as the years went on, Gooding's career faced a steep decline. By the mid-2010s, he was no longer appearing in major blockbusters, and his filmography shifted towards smaller productions and television appearances. The most significant turning point came when multiple women accused him of sexual misconduct beginning in 2019. Gooding denied the allegations, but the legal battles that followed drew widespread media attention and severely damaged his professional reputation. In 2022, he pled guilty to a misdemeanor charge of forcibly touching one woman, a development that further distanced him from mainstream studio projects. These events occurred at a moment when Hollywood was becoming increasingly sensitive to misconduct accusations, making the industry far less willing to take risks on controversial figures. The consequences were immediate and visible. Film studios and networks quietly stepped back, and Gooding's opportunities in major productions diminished dramatically. He was not officially banned by any governing body, but the combination of public scrutiny, legal challenges, and shifting cultural standards created an environment where his presence in big-budget productions became highly unlikely. As Hollywood prioritized safer, controversy-free casting, Gooding found himself on the outside of the industry that once celebrated him. Despite the setbacks, Cuba Gooding Jr. continues to work on independent films and smaller creative projects, seeking to rebuild his career away from the spotlight. His story reflects the complex intersection of fame, personal decisions, and public perception, showing how quickly a celebrated career can unravel when legal and ethical challenges overshadow past achievements. Terrence Howard. Terrence Howard was once one of Hollywood's most compelling and versatile actors, earning widespread respect for his powerful on-screen presence and emotional range. He rose to prominence in the early 2000s with acclaimed performances in Hustle and Flow, which earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor, and in ensemble dramas like Crash, which won the Oscar for Best Picture. Howard's success extended into major blockbuster territory when he appeared as Colonel James Rhodey Rhodes in Marvel's Iron Man 2008, a film that went on to launch the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. At that moment, Howard stood on the edge of superstardom, poised for a long-term franchise role. However, his career took a sharp turn when he was replaced by Don Cheadle in Iron Man 2. According to Howard, contract disputes and disagreements over salary cuts led to his departure from Marvel, a decision that significantly altered his career trajectory. While Marvel Studios did not publicly detail the reasons behind the recasting, the situation fueled ongoing speculation and marked one of the most notable missed opportunities in modern Hollywood. Around the same time, Howard faced multiple legal disputes and personal controversies, including civil lawsuits and accusations from former partners, matters he consistently denied. Nonetheless, the combination of public disputes and behind-the-scenes tensions made some studios cautious about working with him. By the mid-2010s, Howard found renewed success on television with the hit series Empire, where his portrayal of music mogul Lucious Lyon captivated audiences and revitalized his image. The show became one of Fox's highest-rated dramas, proving that Howard still possessed the talent and magnetism that first made him a star. Yet even as Empire thrived, additional public controversies and legal issues resurfaced, overshadowing his professional achievements and once again affecting his Hollywood standing. Despite never being officially blacklisted, Terrence Howard's career has undeniably been shaped by disputes, personal challenges, and a reputation that complicated his relationship with major studios. Today, he continues to act in film and television while also expressing interest in stepping away from Hollywood. His story illustrates how swiftly rising talent can collide with industry politics and personal battles, turning a near-franchise superstar into one of Hollywood's most complex cautionary tales. Monique. Monique was once one of Hollywood's most powerful comedic voices, earning acclaim for her bold humor, emotional depth, and unforgettable screen presence. Already a respected stand-up comedian and sitcom star, she reached the height of her career with her stunning performance in Precious 2009. The role earned her the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress, as well as Golden Globe, BAFTA, and SAG Awards, a rare, clean sweep that placed her among Hollywood's most celebrated performers. For a moment, Monique seemed destined for long-term stardom, recognized as both a comedic force and a dramatic powerhouse. However, controversy emerged shortly after her Oscar win. Monique publicly stated that she was pressured to do unpaid promotional work for Precious, something she refused. She later claimed that influential industry figures, including producer Oprah Winfrey, director Lee Daniels, and studio executive Tyler Perry, were unhappy with her decision. While these individuals have publicly denied blacklisting her, Monique has consistently maintained that her refusal to play the game led to a decline in her career. As her allegations gained attention, her opportunities in major studio films visibly decreased, and she moved away from mainstream Hollywood projects. The situation escalated in 2017 when Monique accused Netflix of pay discrimination, saying the offer she received for a comedy special was significantly lower than offers made to other comedians. She urged audiences to boycott the platform and filed a discrimination lawsuit, which was settled confidentially in 2022. The highly public nature of the conflict intensified the industry narrative around her, with some viewing her as a whistleblower and others seeing her as combative perceptions that undoubtedly impacted her casting prospects. Although she was never formally blacklisted by any official body, Monique's career trajectory clearly shifted as major studios became reluctant to work with her amid growing controversy. Yet in recent years, she has begun a notable comeback, appearing in Lee Daniels' horror film The Deliverance and continuing her stand-up tours with strong support from her fan base. Monique's story is a complex one rooted in questions of pay equity, power dynamics, and Hollywood politics, and remains a powerful example of how speaking out can redefine a career for better or for worse. Jussie Smollett. Jussie Smollett rose to major fame through his breakout role as Jamal Lyon on the hit Fox series Empire. His performance as a talented singer navigating family pressure, trauma, and identity made him one of the show's most celebrated cast members. Between 2015 and 2018, Empire became one of the highest-rated dramas on network television, reaching over 17 million viewers during its peak. Smollett's character quickly became a cultural symbol for representation on TV, and the actor leveraged this fame into a rising music career and prominent advocacy work. Everything changed in January 2019 when Smollett reported to Chicago police that he had been the victim of a hate-motivated attack. The case drew national attention immediately, but within weeks, controversy erupted. Chicago authorities alleged that Smollett had staged the incident, and he was later charged with filing a false police report. Smollett has consistently maintained his innocence, but in 2021, a jury convicted him on 5 counts of disorderly conduct related to filing false reports. He received a sentence including probation, community service, and a short jail term. As of today, Smollett continues to appeal the conviction, keeping the legal outcome active and unresolved in the long term. The fallout in Hollywood was swift. Production halted his involvement in Empire, and he was written out of the final season. Projects he had in development were paused or quietly dissolved, and major studios distanced themselves from the controversy. While no official blacklist was ever issued, the combination of legal troubles, intense media scrutiny, and public debate made Smollett a high-risk choice for casting directors and networks. In an industry deeply attentive to public perception, this effectively placed his mainstream career on hold. Despite the setback, Smollett has continued working independently, directing and starring in the 2021 drama B-Boy Blues, and maintaining a dedicated fan base. His story remains one of the most highly publicized career collapses of the late 2010s, one shaped by legal battles, media narratives, and a cultural conversation far larger than the actor himself. Whether he can rebuild his reputation or return to major studio productions remains uncertain as his appeal process continues to unfold. Stacey Dash. Stacey Dash became a pop culture icon in the mid-1990s thanks to her breakout role as Dionne Davenport in the hit film Clueless, 1995. Her performance, stylish, sharp, and effortlessly funny, helped cement the movie as one of the most influential teen comedies of its era. Dash reprised her role in the successful Clueless TV adaptation, which ran for 3 seasons, and she continued building a steady career throughout the 1990s and early 2000s, with roles in films like Mo Money View from the Top and various television appearances. For many fans, she became a familiar, beloved face representing Black beauty and comedic charm across mainstream entertainment. However, Dash's public image shifted dramatically in the 2010s when she became widely known for her political commentary. As a contributor for Fox News between 2014 and 2017, she took strong conservative stances on issues such as representation award shows and U.S. politics. These statements generated significant backlash online and within Hollywood, an industry where political views often shape public perception. Dash later said that the network presented her in a way that encouraged polarization, though Fox News eventually did not renew her contract. Even after leaving the network, the public controversy continued to follow her, overshadowing her acting career. The effects on her professional opportunities were visible. While she was never officially blacklisted by any studio or governing body, Stacey Dash found herself increasingly sidelined in Hollywood as casting directors distanced themselves from the intense political discussions surrounding her. With fewer roles and growing public scrutiny, her acting work shifted towards small, independent films and occasional television guest spots. Dash later stated in interviews that she hoped to move beyond the political image that had defined her for years, acknowledging that it had cost her both professional and personal relationships. In recent years, Stacey Dash has expressed interest in rebuilding her career and reconnecting with audiences who once embraced her talent. She has appeared in smaller projects and spoken openly about personal struggles, including issues she says contributed to past controversies. While her path back to mainstream Hollywood remains uncertain, her story highlights how quickly public identity, especially when tied to politics, can reshape an actor's career. Once celebrated for her on-screen charisma, Dash now represents a complex example of how off-screen choices can change a Hollywood legacy. Isaiah Washington. Isaiah Washington was once one of television's most recognizable dramatic actors, known for his commanding presence and emotional depth. His breakthrough came with a series of praised performances in independent films throughout the 1990s, but his career reached its peak with the medical drama Grey's Anatomy. As Dr. Preston Burke Washington became a central figure in one of the most successful series of the 2000s, helping the show reach weekly audiences of over 20 million viewers at its height. His nuanced portrayal of a brilliant but complicated surgeon earned him critical acclaim and solidified his place as a key member of the cast. However, Washington's time on the show came to an abrupt end in 2007 after he became involved in a highly publicized on-set conflict. Reports surfaced that he had used a homophobic slur during an argument with a co-star, a claim Washington initially denied before later issuing a public apology. The controversy intensified when he repeated the slur while speaking to the press backstage at the Golden Globe Awards that same year. As the media attention grew, ABC and the show's producers announced that his contract would not be renewed for the next season. It was one of the most talked-about cast departures of the era and marked a major turning point in his career. The consequences were significant. Following his exit from Grey's Anatomy, Washington found it increasingly difficult to secure major roles in Hollywood. While he continued to work steadily in smaller films, independent productions, and later on the series The 100, he never regained the mainstream visibility he once enjoyed. Washington himself has stated in interviews that he believes he was informally blacklisted by the entertainment industry due to the controversy, though no official ban was ever issued. Shifting public attitudes and the industry's growing emphasis on workplace conduct made the situation particularly impactful at the time. In recent years, Isaiah Washington has continued acting while also branching into documentary work, independent cinema, and public commentary. His journey remains one of the most notable examples of how a single controversy, especially one involving workplace conflict and sensitive language, can dramatically alter a rising career. From award-winning primetime success to navigating the margins of the industry, Washington's story reflects the delicate balance between talent, reputation, and the cultural standards that shape Hollywood's choices. Orlando Brown. Orlando Brown rose to fame as one of Disney Channel's most recognizable young stars of the early 2000s. His breakout came from the hit series That's So Raven, where he played Eddie Thomas, the lovable best friend whose comedic timing and charm made him a fan favorite. At the height of the show's success, it averaged more than 3 to 4 million viewers per episode, becoming one of Disney Channel's most successful original series. Brown also built a strong career in voice acting, most notably as Sticky Webb in The Proud Family, and appeared in movies like Max Keeble's Big Move and Major Payne. With his talent, energy, and on-screen charisma, he seemed destined for a long career in Hollywood. However, as he transitioned into adulthood, Orlando Brown faced a series of well-documented legal issues and personal struggles that overshadowed his early success. Throughout the late 2010s, he was arrested multiple times for charges ranging from drug possession to domestic disputes, and his erratic behavior in public interviews drew widespread attention online. Many of these moments went viral, reinforcing concerns about his mental health and well-being. Brown later acknowledged dealing with substance abuse and entered rehabilitation in 2020, receiving support from multiple outreach programs. These challenges had a profound impact on his career. As Brown became increasingly surrounded by controversy, Disney and other major studios distanced themselves from him. Opportunities in mainstream film and television declined sharply, not because of an official blacklist, but due to the instability and unpredictability surrounding his public image. In an industry that values reliability, his off-screen issues made him a difficult choice for major productions. As a result, he gradually disappeared from the Hollywood spotlight that once embraced him. Despite the setbacks, Orlando Brown has shown signs of rebuilding. He has spoken publicly about his journey toward recovery, participated in faith-based programs, and expressed a desire to return to acting under healthier circumstances. While his path remains uncertain, his story stands as one of the most dramatic rises and falls among former child stars, highlighting the challenges of navigating fame at a young age and the harsh realities of Hollywood when personal struggles overshadow professional talent. Columbus Short. Columbus Short built a promising career in Hollywood through his talent as both an actor and choreographer. Before his breakthrough in film and television, he worked behind the scenes as a choreographer for Britney Spears, contributing to her tours in the early 2000s. His on-screen rise began with energetic roles in dance-driven and action films such as Stomp the Yard, which debuted at #1 at the US box office in 2007, solidifying Short as a fresh new face in the industry. But his biggest surge in fame came from the hit ABC political drama Scandal, where he portrayed Harrison Wright, one of Olivia Pope's closest allies. The show averaged 8 to 10 million weekly viewers, and Short quickly became a fan favorite for his intensity and charisma. However, at the height of his success, Short's career was derailed by a series of legal issues and personal struggles that became widely covered in the media. Between 2014 and 2016, he faced multiple arrests related to domestic violence allegations, public altercations, and substance abuse issues. These incidents created growing concerns for both producers and networks regarding reliability and public image, especially as the entertainment industry became increasingly sensitive to off-screen behavior. In 2014, ABC announced that Short would not return for Season 4 of Scandal, a major blow that marked a turning point in his career. The fallout was significant. Hollywood, which often prioritizes stability and low-risk casting, began distancing itself from Short. While he was never officially blacklisted, the combination of repeated legal problems and negative press made it difficult for him to secure leading roles in major studio projects. Much of his later work shifted toward independent films, low-budget productions, and smaller TV appearances. Short later said in interviews that his personal struggles, including substance abuse, contributed directly to the unraveling of his career, and he has publicly taken responsibility for many of the mistakes that caused Hollywood to step back. In recent years, Columbus Short has expressed a desire to rebuild his life and career, participating in faith-based projects, releasing a memoir, and speaking openly about growth and accountability. His story serves as a sobering example of how quickly a rising star can lose momentum when personal challenges overshadow professional talent, and how difficult it can be to regain Hollywood's trust once that line has been crossed. Nate Parker. Nate Parker emerged in Hollywood as a promising dramatic actor known for his intensity, charisma, and commitment to socially conscious storytelling. Early in his career, he appeared in notable films such as The Great Debaters, Red Tails, and Beyond the Lights, earning praise for his grounded performances and ability to carry complex roles. His reputation as a rising talent peaked in 2016 with The Birth of a Nation, a film he directed, wrote, produced, and starred in. The movie premiered at the Sundance Film Festival, where it received a standing ovation and sold to Fox Searchlight for a record-breaking $17.5 million, making Parker one of the most talked-about filmmakers of the year. Many believed he was on the verge of becoming one of Hollywood's most important new voices. However, just months before the movie's theatrical release, controversy erupted when past allegations from a 1999 sexual assault case resurfaced in national media. Parker had been acquitted of the charges in 2001, but renewed public scrutiny fueled by interviews and investigative articles sparked heated discussions and overshadowed the film's release. While no new accusations were made, the timing of the controversy had a major impact on how the film was received. Critics, journalists, and industry insiders debated Parker's past, and the conversation around The Birth of a Nation shifted from artistic achievement to moral and cultural questions. This dramatically changed the film's award season prospects and Parker's standing in Hollywood. The consequences were immediate. The movie underperformed at the box office. Several promotional events were canceled, and Parker's rising career stalled almost overnight. No official blacklist was issued, but the combined weight of public backlash and industry caution effectively halted his mainstream opportunities. Studios and producers, wary of the intense media attention surrounding his name, began distancing themselves from potential collaborations. In the years that followed, Parker continued working, but mostly in independent films, smaller projects and international productions far removed from the Hollywood spotlight he once occupied. Despite the career setback, Nate Parker has remained active, creatively releasing independent films such as American Skin and participating in film festivals and panel discussions. His story represents one of Hollywood's most dramatic shifts in trajectory, moving from a celebrated Sundance sensation to a figure largely pushed to the edges of the industry. It highlights how past controversies, even long after legal resolution, can resurface and reshape a career at the moment it appears to be reaching its peak. Monique Coleman. Monique Coleman rose to international recognition through her role as Taylor McKessie in Disney's massively successful High School Musical franchise. Released between 2006 and 2008, the films became a global phenomenon, attracting over 225 million viewers worldwide across all channels and inspiring concerts, tours, and a merchandising empire. Coleman's portrayal of the intelligent, ambitious class president made her a relatable figure for young audiences, and she became an important part of the franchise's message about diversity and representation. Outside of acting, she built a reputation as a youth advocate, eventually becoming the UN Youth Champion for the International Year of Youth in 2010. However, despite her early success and global visibility, Coleman's Hollywood journey did not follow the upward trajectory many expected. After High School Musical, she found few significant studio roles, often appearing in small independent films or guest starring on television. In interviews, Coleman has spoken candidly about the challenges she faced as a black actress in Hollywood. She revealed that during the filming of High School Musical, she wore headbands frequently because stylists did not know how to properly style her natural hair, an experience she says reflects the broader lack of support and representation behind the scenes. These industry limitations made it difficult for her to secure roles that matched her talent or the success she achieved early in her career. Although Coleman's career slowdown was not driven by scandal or controversy, the structural issues she faced resulted in a gradual distancing from major Hollywood projects. Unlike stars who decline due to personal missteps or public backlash, Coleman's diminished visibility stemmed from systemic challenges, limited opportunities, and a shift toward advocacy and personal projects rather than mainstream entertainment. As Hollywood evolved slowly toward more inclusive casting and production practices, Coleman continued building her career through meaningful independent work, speaking engagements, and youth empowerment initiatives. In recent years, Monique Coleman has taken on new roles in TV films and independent dramas while continuing to champion representation and mental health awareness. Her career stands as a reminder that not every Hollywood fade-out comes from scandal. Sometimes it comes from an industry still learning how to support diverse talent. Coleman remains admired by longtime fans and continues to shape her path with purpose, authenticity, and resilience. Hollywood has seen countless careers rise and fall, but the stories of these actors reveal a deeper truth about fame, opportunity, and accountability in the industry. From box office icons like Will Smith and Wesley Snipes to rising talents such as Jussie Smollett and Columbus Short, each journey reflects a complex mix of personal decisions, public perception, and the unforgiving spotlight of celebrity. Some faced legal battles, others clashed with studios, and many struggled against systemic barriers that shaped their paths. But which of these stars truly deserved their downfall, and which were unfairly pushed aside? Share your thoughts below Legends of Black Excellence.